Hello, this is your instructor, Russ, and we're now ready to look at week 6 of our class. By this time, should have prepared your PowerPoint speech. You should have done all the research for it on the magazine, or not the magazines, but the newspaper articles. You need at least 3 online newspaper articles. You've now outlined everything. You should now be ready to put this on note cards and then to prepare your PowerPoint uh, slides for this speech. So I want to talk about how you prepare the PowerPoint slides, talk about the recording of this speech, and how you do everything. So I'm started by being seated. We're not going to be seated when we actually do the speech itself. So we'll go through that in just a little bit. But first, I want to talk a little bit about how you do, the putting of all of this together. You need to reduce your speech once you've written it all out and you've outlined it, reduced it to notes or a keyword outline. You need to put it on note cards. No, usually a 4x6. That's the size I have right here. One side only, no more than 3 note cards. So here's 3 note cards that I have right here, and I need to see those note cards in front of you. And I need to see that you use the note cards, that you're looking down at the note cards every once in a while, changing the note cards when you're looking at them. So that's one part of the preparation, is to use note cards. If you're not using any note cards at all, and you give a 5-minute presentation, you're either reading it, looking off onto another monitor, or you're trying to memorize this. And I don't want you to do either one of those. This is not a manuscript delivery, should not be a memorized delivery. It should be extemporaneous delivery. Extemporaneous, as we've studied, means speaking from prepared notes or an outline. That's what it means. It means you're having maximum eye contact, but you're looking a few times down at your note cards to see what it is that you want to say next. So you need to prepare your PowerPoint speech and your note cards, and then you'll be delivering the speech. Now, you do not need to be delivering the speech with the PowerPoints showing in the background or off to the side of you. The PowerPoint presentation is to be submitted separately, and I want you to refer to these slides as you're talking about them. You might say, here we see in this slide a picture of Elon Musk, or here we see a picture of the most recent iPhone, and you could reference them that way. But there's only going to be 3 slides that you're going to have. You're not going to have more than 3 slides. And so you just need to reference them, not actually show them unless you want to. That's an option that you can have. So we're going to pause this recording now so I can set up and show you what it's actually going to look like when you do the recording. So at this point now I'm standing. I have placed my laptop computer on top of my wastebasket. That's the way that I get it at the level that it should be. So you're shooting straight ahead. And I'm looking directly at the camera now. I'm not looking off to the side. I'm standing up. Remember, if you're seated when you do your presentation, I'll give you a 0 automatically. And then you can redo the speech if you want standing for a better grade. But just record it standing. Also, you see my cards. I want to see your cards in your hand. If I don't see cards in your hand, then I'm suspicious right away that you're going to be looking off to the side. So here's me looking off to the side of my computer screen. Over here on the side, if you look at my eyes, you can definitely see that I'm not looking straight ahead, but I'm looking off to the side. I can tell if you're looking up above, if you're looking off to the other side, you're looking down below. So I want you to be looking right at the camera. That's the eye contact that I want to really see, and I want to see that you're using note cards. So you're going to have to practice doing this a few times. Record yourself. If you don't like the recording, do it again. Practice again. So at this point, you're going to be using the note cards. You're starting and doing the recording here, referencing the slides, and basically staying in one place. Now you can move around. I moved around just one step, one way or the other, but I wouldn't do a lot of moving around for the presentation. I would just mainly be in one place. Make sure your note cards are held up all the time so I can see that you're using the note cards and that you're looking down, referencing the note cards. So at this point, I'm going to stop the recording. And now I'm seated again, and at this point, we want to talk more specifically about PowerPoint itself and how you prepare your PowerPoint slides for this. Now, one of the things that I recommend is that you check out a video that I've got a link to the video in my announcements for week 6. So take a look at that announcement, especially the link. The announcement is called, or the video is called, How to Avoid Death by PowerPoint by David J.P. Phillips. And there's a link on that, or you can simply go to YouTube and search for How to Avoid Death by PowerPoint. The phrase death by PowerPoint means that you've done your PowerPoint slides incorrectly. You might have slides that are just really, the color scheme is not right. The background is not correct. The fonts are not correct. You've got too many words on the slide, too many items on the slide. So we're going to go through this with you. That video really explains it in much more detail. I really recommend that you check that out prior to you doing your slides. I'm going to be able to tell immediately when I see your slides if you've done them correctly or not. Now, the 3 slides that you should have are your title slide for your speech. That's one of them. That should be somewhere at the beginning of the speech during the introduction. When you get to the end of the introduction, your second slide is important to do there. The second slide is listing what your 2 main points are. Now, you know already in preparation that your 2 main points for this particular speech are main point number 1, what is this product that you're doing, pop culture product? Tell me the background, a little history of the person that you're doing, the personality. That's main point 1. Main point 2 is to talk about the significance of this product or personality. Why is it important to you? What's significant about it? And so that's the second slide. The third slide is then your slide showing your list of newspapers and other websites that you used for this. Now, in a real live situation, you would not be having a list of your bibliography, your works cited that you would put up. The font is going to be way too small, way too many words for people to read. It's just not realistic at all. But the requirement is to have that so that your instructor can look at that slide to see what you used in preparation for this speech. So that's how we'll use this. You don't actually use it in the delivery at all. You really only use the first 2. Now, if you want to have, any other slides, the only ones you would have would be blank slides that you would start the slideshow with. You would end the slideshow with a blank slide, and you put blank slides in between your other slides. Those would be, so maybe a total of 5 or 6 slides total, including blank slides. You really don't need any more than that. All right. So what we want to do now is I'm going to share my screen because I want to show you some PowerPoint examples of things that are correct to do and things that are not correct to do. So at this point, I'm going to be sharing. And now you should see that I have the, myself up in the corner, and then we have these slides here. So I'm going to pull up my PowerPoint presentation, the demonstration that I have, and that's what this is right here. This is the demonstration that you see. And this is just an example of a PowerPoint. So I want to put this more on full screen. As I share this with you, you can see I start with a blank slide. Now, the blank slide that you have and every other slide should not have a white background. That's the default background of PowerPoint. I don't know why it's the default, but that is an automatic giveaway that you did not pay attention to this video lecture. You didn't read my announcements. You didn't watch the video on how to avoid death by PowerPoint, because you should not use a white background. You should instead use a colored background or a dark background. Now, here's my first slide. Let's assume I'm giving a PowerPoint speech on pets that you could have. And you can see here's a problem right here. It looks like it's not a problem, but it really is. I have more than one idea or message on this slide. I have the top part up here, if you can see where my cursor is, about dogs, and the bottom part about cats. And the reason you don't want to have two ideas on one slide is I might be talking about dogs when everybody else in the audience is looking at the cat picture, or vice versa. So you don't want that. You need to divide this up one message per slide. So you can see here on my next slide, I have just about dogs. Now, some people might argue you really have still two ideas, one about domestic dogs and one about wild dogs. So I could see that. You could even split this up into more slides than just what I have. And here's about cats. And you can see now this is all about domestic and wild cats. So now I'm going to put a blank slide in between my slides in preparation for the next thing we want to look at. And that is, you don't want to use words, but instead you want to use pictures. Here's where I only use words. The most popular pets, and I just made all this up, but I wrote dogs are number one, cats are number two, and so on. Now, why should I have that? Wouldn't it be better to list them this way? Now, again, the problem, though, is that I have more than one idea. I've got 5 ideas, dogs, cats, turtles, snakes, and birds, all on this. So what if I did this? That's even better. No words at all. Do I really need to have a title for each one of these? Can't you tell by looking at them what they are? Won't you be talking about each one? Now, this is even better. See, now I've made it bigger. I've centered the picture. Now you can only focus on the dog, the cute little puppy there, okay? And now you can only focus on the kitty cat. And so this is why you should have more slides than fewer slides. And that's because you can then control and focus what you want the audience to look at. And here is exact same pictures, but I've made them larger, centered them, one message per slide. The next thing that we want to talk about here is we want to talk about how you use something called contrast and reveal. Look at the contrast I have, first of all, between the words that I have in white and the blue background. The cost of having a pet, the maintenance of keeping a pet, the housing requirements, and pets as companions. But what if I didn't show all 4 of my main points at once, but I wanted to show them to you one at a time? Then I have a single slide for each one. Let's say I start with cost. Take that away, and now I just have maintenance. When I'm done talking about maintenance, then I show the one about housing requirements. See how I'm revealing them one at a time to you, and here's companionship. Now again, I'm going to go back. This is in contrast to showing all of them at once. See that? Now, a major drawback of PowerPoint is this white background. And I'm going to show you the difference between a dark background now and a white background. So once you see, oh, this is a different way, by the way, of the reveal. See how I changed the color of the one I just talked about? And now it's a blue color, a shade of blue, but it's just a different shade than the background. So you still can see it, but you can easily see that I'm focusing on maintenance, and we finished talking about cost. Same thing here and here. Now, here's the difference between this slide with the blue background and this slide with the white background. Get ready to shade your eyes. Look at that. Look at how bright that is. Whereas here, your eyes go, ah. Here, your eyes go, ooh, that's really harsh lighting. And it's really bright. Now, on a printed page, this might be the best because it's a great contrast on a printed page that you look at. That's why most books have white pages and dark font. But on PowerPoint, you don't do that. You want to have instead the dark background like this, and your eyes adjust then easier to a lighter font. So that's the end of this right here. I'm going to stop the sharing for now. And at this point, take a look at the announcement that I have for week 6. I think you should be ready to go. My suggestion would be that by the middle of the week, by around Wednesday, you have your PowerPoint slides all completed, and you are ready now to take your cards and to practice the delivery of your speech, because this speech needs to be recorded and uploaded for your group to look at by no later than midnight of Friday of this week. So if you have any questions on anything, please don't hesitate to contact me. This is your instructor, Russ, saying thank you for watching, and we'll see you again for week 7 next week.